self-serving, persuasive talkers
of everything and nothing. We are Conversation Con Artists. What's up? I'm Calamity Ray.
And I'm Mr. On Point. Today, we are going to be doing a celebrity lineup, which from time to time we're going to do on the show. And it's where we basically talk about a different lineup of celebrities and pretty much say how we feel about them and whatever they got going on. So, we're going to start off with Raven Simone.
Oh, yay! Raven, who's from every continent.
That's so Raven. Hanging with Mr. Cooper. The Cosby Show.
This heifer. Like,
what else did she play on?
Those were like the main
that was
ones.
It?
Yeah, I think the Cheetah Girls. Did you mention Cheetah Girls? Mm-hmm. Cheetah Girls on Disney.
She ever been in any movies? I mean, besides Disney movies, because, you know.
I don't know about Disney, but I think that's been it, just like Disney movies.
Yeah.
She should have stuck with that shit. When she was that Raven, everybody loved her. This grown-up version of her who's stupid as shit or says stupid shit, ain't nobody really here for her. Like, I don't understand why people think they have to, like, express every single opinion that they have. Like, sometimes some stuff you should just keep to yourself. Just don't share that. Like, I'm from every continent in Europe, and I'm from every continent in Africa except for one. You know what a continent is? Because Africa itself there ain't no continent within Africa.
Yeah. Raven Simone, she shouldn't even be on The View.
No.
Like, Whoopi Goldberg, like, what has she been rich since she was a kid. Like, it's a group of people out here she don't identify with. Like,
and it shows in how she talks.
She never struggled in life. Like, Whoopi Goldberg done struggled, you know? I just don't understand.
I don't know, like,
how you get to that point.
And even her own, I mean, it ain't, her own dad, like, made a comment about, I don't know why she said that stupid shit or something to that effect.
Yeah.
What was it that she said that this last thing that he was like, about Watermelon Drea.
The names,
the name issue. Now, do I feel like you need to be careful what you name your child? Yes, I do. Only because, as unfair as you think it may be, there are people who think like Raven Simone. There are jobs that are gonna see a certain name and be like, nope. That doesn't make it right.
I mean, at the point that you find somebody with a crazy name, you still have to recognize that it's only a reflection of their folks.
Exactly, not a reflection
not necessarily
of them.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
She's talking about she wouldn't hire somebody. You gonna turn away Watermelon Drea, whatever the hell her made up name was. You gonna turn her away for Becky, and Becky gonna fuck your shit up. And you gonna have chosen Becky, not because Becky's qualifications were better than Watermelon Drea, but because you liked her name better. That doesn't make any sense. And your fucking name is Raven Simone. Like, she act like her name is like Alice or like something plain herself. Like, you have a hyphenated name yourself. Like, that whole thing just didn't make any sense to me. Like, I feel like she just says stuff just to say it. She don't think it through before she says it. And I think she's honestly surprised when people are like, you stupid as shit. Like, I really think that she don't expect it. I think she's really like, oh my God, what'd I say?
I mean, that's how it's been in America for the longest. I mean, your name is supposed to be a reflection somehow of your character. And I think that she's just somehow indoctrinated by the system that already exists. I mean, I thought that we moved a little bit to the point where, you know, let's get to people, you know, by their character, by the merits, and, you know, I know we're not there in society, but if anybody, I would think that an African-American person with the name, with a hyphen in their name and an accent mark in their name would have a little bit more diverse perspective on that.
Well, and the thing is, honestly, like, I think it is shifting a little bit. The only reason I say that is because I done seen some white Keishas. I done seen some white Andres. I worked with one actually before, so.
Applications went straight in the trash.
So I think it is changing a little bit, like as far as now. I don't know that I'm gonna ever see like a white Walla Melandrea. I don't know that it'll ever go quite that far. But like some of the names that have historically been like more ethnic or whatever. Again, Keisha is like one of those names. But I've met a white Keisha and I've met a white Andre. So I think it's shifting a little bit, but. That still was just, what is that for you to say? Like, the thing, shut your mouth. Stop talking. That's what she needs to do. Stop fucking talking. Just don't say nothing else. Like, she just needs to be quiet.
I mean, there's some things out there that we think, and we can have those thoughts, but there's certain platforms that you exist on in which saying those things is a lot more dangerous than it is relevant to what conversation that you have. And like the weight of what it does to you when you say stuff like that, as she's coming to recognize, because her saying that, Ann Coulter had to son her in one of them episodes. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did. I saw that. Yeah. Because she was trying to get on to Ann Coulter, because Ann Coulter is a bitch. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But she was trying to go at her, and she was like, you know how, I did see that. It was hilarious. And that's one of the few times that I was like, okay, Ann, I see you.
I see you. You still on Fox News, but I see you.
Yeah. For this one moment.
I ain't gonna clap for you or nothing.
I can't bring myself to do that, but I see you. I see you. Yeah.
She was so rude. But I mean, you gotta be careful with stuff like that.
You really do.
But I never watched That's So Raven. It was too silly to me. Seeing her with like a top hat and a mustache on was like weird. Cause all I remember from that show was when I see it, she would be dressed up like, she just used a lot of makeup, a lot of paint, a lot of costumes. It was just so silly, and I just wasn't into silly stuff, that kind of silly. Yeah,
I wasn't a fan of the show, really. I don't know if I've watched a couple of episodes, I think, maybe, but it wasn't really my cup of tea. I don't like goofy comedy. Mm-hmm. I didn't even really care. I'm gonna probably get massacred for this, but I really wasn't a fan of white girls. I don't like that campy.
White chicks.
Oh Lord! Yeah,
I was like, "What is white girl? Something I don't know about?" I don't know what it is.
Not white girls, white chicks. Yeah, I don't like that campy, real goofy, Marlon Wayans, Andy, all of that stuff that he's. It's too much. All the scary movies. It's just too much. It's not funny to me. It's. I don't know. So I didn't really watch that so Raven very much.
What about Hanging with Mr. Cooper?
I loved Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
I loved Hanging with Mr. Cooper. I remember nothing about the show.
I know.
I remember absolutely
Holly Robinson Peete was in it. I remember that.
I don't know who the mama was. I think the funny character was what's Cuba Gooding Jr. brother name?
That's his brother?
Yeah.
Was it? Shit, I ain't even know that.
You know, the dude from Wild and Crazy Kids, that same dude? Is it Omar Gooding?
He was on Hanging with Mr. Cooper?
I think that was him.
I don't know.
I'm gonna have to look this junk.
Yeah, that was so long ago. I don't know. I liked Hanging with Mr. Cooper though. I don't really remember too much about it. That needs to be on Hulu or something. I would watch that.
I would too, because I know I would remember some episodes.
Yeah, once you started watching it, probably. I liked Hanging with Mr. Cooper though. And I liked her on the Cosby Show as Olivia.
Cosby Show, she was at that cute phase where it's everything she said was just, yeah. But I mean, I think some people I think one thing about people Raven Simone and Morgan Freeman and their perspectives of race, I think that they have been shrouded in they've been in an environment in which they have been praised by everybody. Mm-hmm. So it's hard to see the kind of hatred and the microaggressions that come to somebody that's just regular day to day. If you Raven Simone and you in Hollywood, you get to be loved by everybody. You know what I'm saying? So I think some actors, they apply that to everybody. They generalize that feeling that they have to everybody. Everybody loves me, white, black, Latino, Indian, everybody. I've had love from everybody. So I don't think they really take into account the experience of people who have nothing and how they're treated by other people.
Yeah.
And so it's easy for them to say that, but I think it's only specific to their life. I don't think they really looking to generalize it and connect it to other people's experiences.
Which is sad, and it makes her look like, a dumbass.
Very much so.
Regularly.
Yeah, she on TV every day now. I mean, I guess she could have said a lot more at this point by now. I mean, we got good 3 things.
Yeah, I feel like part of that, though, is just like, I feel like the studio comes like, look, Raven, like, I think you just give it a couple of weeks before you just don't put too much out there. Like, let's give it a couple of weeks and then,
yeah,
we don't want too much negative publicity to the show.
Well,
but that works for them because people tune in to see what other kind of dumb shit she's gonna say.
Right.
Cause like, there is a petition going around to have her removed. They're not gonna remove her from that show because she gets them views because people hate watch her. Which is basically where it's like, I can't stand her ass. Let me go see what she gonna say today. You're helping her in doing that because it gives the show ratings. And so they're not gonna take her off the show. She helps them with the ratings. That is how shows make it, is by their rate. Everybody in America can hate the show, but if they're watching it, the show gonna stay on. It's never gonna go off. Like that's how it's calculated. So like you watching it is helping her.
Yeah. But, I mean, I guess since we talked about Raven-Symoné, we can go over to Bill Cosby, since he's connected to Olivia through, her early exposure.
Let me start by stressing that we're talking about Bill Cosby and not Heathcliff Huxtable. I feel like because he's such a beloved character, that it's very hard for people to separate the man from the character that he played. Bill Cosby is not Heathcliff Huxtable. He is not a doctor. That is not his life. So I think it's hard for people to separate that. And it's like, who wants to think about Heathcliff Huxtable as a rapist? And nobody wants to think about that.
Do we have to connect them in this conversation? Do you think?
I don't think we need to connect them. I think we need to separate them, though. Mm-hmm. Not connecting them, but like, what do you mean connect?
If we can't look at Heathcliff Huxtable in terms of assessing what Bill Cosby has done, is it fair to look at what he done and it taint Heathcliff Huxtable as it has?
It isn't fair, but the problem is that people can't separate it out. Like, what should happen is, you should be able to still enjoy the Cosby Show for what it is, and also be like, Bill Cosby's a fucked up individual.
Yeah.
But people cannot do that. Like and that happens. It's not just with him. Like with people that play like a character for an extended period of time and a character that's like really beloved. I always use this as an example. My mom loved Lawrence Fishburne. She thought he was the sexiest man alive. He played Ike Turner. She ain't have shit else for him. Like, she was done. Every time she looked at him, she saw Ike Turner. She couldn't separate him from that character that he played.
That was a bad career move.
So, like, I think overall, like, not even in just this situation, I think people in general have a difficult time separating, like, and I think that's, like, the scary part for, like, actors and becoming typecast is that, like, people can't separate you from that shit. So you don't want to be typecast as something that you hate playing, cause people aren't going to separate you from that, and it's going to be very difficult for you to get anything else. So Heathcliff Huxtable should absolutely not be tainted by this, but unfortunately he is, and Cosby Show got pulled from some stations, and
his new special that was going to be on. His new show that was going to be on got pulled. His comedy specials got pulled from. I mean, he used to have a joke talking about like rape drugs, Spanish fly joke, and I'm like, dang, that's not a coincidence.
How close to your real life? Like you know, comedians pull from their life. So It's terrible what he did. It is also extremely terrible. I can't stand when people do shit and then you can't own up to it. Right? Because at this point, nothing's going to happen to him. None of this can be, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're not going to lock him up for this. He talks so much shit about, like, the black community himself, about how we need to do this and that. And you out here giving Rufus to bitches. Like, that's been
my problem with Bill Cosby. Like, the amount of support that I could potentially have for him throughout this situation is being like fault by the fact that he's been talking shit about the black community and my pants hanging down and not being able to speak properly and all of that jazz. Like, but you know, I have to say that like the Cosby Show was one of my favorite shows when I was growing up. It was a great show. And so like, for me, I don't want Heathcliff Huxtable's perception tainted, but today when I go look at it, all I can see is Bill Cosby putting stuff in people's drinks on set. Like, what is he doing when he ain't on the camera? You know?
Yeah. I mean,
but Bill Cosby, he was always too silly of a daddy for me to take serious, to look at it as like a family type situation. Like, so I don't know what it was for me in terms of Bill Cosby. I mean, I think the whole show and the family dynamic was important, but he was just never the picture of what my granddaddy
or
was,
what most black
or
fathers.
what any black father, black grandfather, like Bill Cosby did not fit in that picture, you know?
Yeah.
But I guess knowing that he was the creator of the show that was a positive view on black families was good, you know, for me to see, being a part of a family that was broken, you know, technically speaking. So I don't want that to be tainted, but I guess I'm one of them people that ain't really separating it.
It's very difficult. I mean, I say
like that.
It's hard for me as well, though. Like, but, and I don't think that part of it is so much a problem. My biggest problem with people not being able to separate it is that when it's all first, and it's been coming, I mean, he had been accused of this over the years, but like this last recent huge time, part of the reason why people were like so quick to say, "Oh no, that can't be true," is because they were thinking of he's too Huxtable. Like Bill Cosby himself absolutely could be a rapist. Heathcliff Huxtable, I could see how that would be harder for you to see, but he is not Heathcliff. So in not being able to separate the characters, that tainted people's ability to like see the situation for what it was. Cause you're biased because it's like, well, he was Heathcliff Huxtable. There's no way that they're just trying to ruin that good black show. And like,
I think Bill Cosby, I don't want to say, I don't think Bill Cosby, I think the problem with Bill Cosby is that for the times that he was doing this stuff, it would not have been and was not responded to in the way that it is today.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to make an accusation on somebody who did something back then, today is the time. Because the way that, you know, rape and women's rights and all of these things are taken, it's going to destroy your career. As to back then, you probably couldn't even make them kind of reports.
Yeah.
On a man being a woman.
And I got so irritated with people that were like, "Oh, well, if it's true, why would they wait all this time to say anything? And if it's true, why wouldn't they have gone to the police then? And if it's true," just not even understanding the effects of rape and how that affects people. That happens all the time. Like, rape victims don't come forward until later because and with this situation, you're right. Back then, who's gonna, like, is anybody even gonna believe this? Like, it's me against him. Heathcliff Huxtable, people love.
I mean, yeah. That's a problem.
You know? So, that also pissed me off and made me mad that people's whole thing was like, well, they didn't come forward, so they must be lying. No, that's not how that works. And anybody that's ever known a battered woman or like a woman that's been through any kind of a situation like that, it's hard for them to talk about and to come forward. Like, it's hard for them to get out of the victim role and become a survivor. That is a process that isn't going to fit into a time frame that you think is appropriate or that you think works for you so that this is more believable for you. If 47 women come out and say that he's that bitch, like, maybe some of them were coming forward just for the publicity of the moment. I don't know, can't say for sure. All of them women were not lying. Yeah. I am sorry. That is, no.
I mean, and one witness in a crime is enough to send you to jail forever. Let alone 47. If 47 witnesses came and said they saw you doing something, you going down.
You are. Like, that's all it's going to take.
Yeah, you're not going to get past this situation.
So that just, I think there's a special place in hell for Bill Cosby if hell exists or doesn't exist. Whatever negative thing could possibly happen to us after we're not here anymore, he gonna get that shit, whatever it may be.
I mean, when Bill Cosby died, I mean, it's gonna be a show. I mean, it's gonna be so many people. It's gonna be bittersweet to a lot of people.
It is.
Because it's just gonna bring up how tainted his image has been in this whole period of time.
And for people to get upset about, it's ruined his legacy. These women are ruining his legacy. No, he ruined his own damn legacy. That's like saying that the Jews ruined Hitler's legacy. No, Hitler was an asshole. Like, he should be remembered for being exactly what he was. That was his fault. Those are the decisions that he made. Bill Cosby made some shit decisions that took a really long time for him to have to be held accountable for. That's his fault. We all are responsible. How I'm remembered is on me. That's on me. That's my responsibility to make sure that if I want it to be something positive, that it's going to be something positive. I don't need to be doing fuck shit in the dark and think it's never going to come to light and then be like, at the end of my life, well, no, because it's going to ruin my legacy. Well, you should have thought about that when you were slipping Mickeys and being restrained.
I don't understand the pathology of people that wear some kind of righteous cause on their sleeve, but they got sins. Like real sins. Like, this is done, I see this mostly in Christianity, where somebody, I don't agree with, homosexuality, but they've done some bullshit that is provable. Like, your sins don't outweigh anybody else's sins, but with Bill Cosby, it's like, he's been so critical of the African American community, but he been out here slipping stuff in women's drinks. Like, sir, what? I just don't understand the pathology behind that. Like, was that to morally compensate for what he considered his deficits were?
Could have been.
And if that's the case, why did it have to be targeted on us? I read a little expose about how Bill Cosby, his intention was to keep race out of all of his stuff because, Red Fox was race, Richard Pryor, race.
Yeah.
And he intentionally kept race out of his situation. But just like, how I feel about Raven-Symoné and Morgan Freeman, I think at some point he started to lose a connection with the community. And he became indoctrinated by the fact that everybody loved him anyway, except, he felt the need to slip some shit in these women's drinks for the other kind of love.
Oh.
Bill Cosby could have got women without this.
Absolutely. That's why that says a lot about him. You are absolutely correct. He absolutely could have. And yet this is what he chose to do instead. That says a lot about him, his personality, who he is as a human being. He obviously got some shit going on, some issues himself, because, you could have done this without flipping drink. But that power and control. Like, I don't know.
He could have got all the TV ads to put in 5 more minutes worth of work. But he would rather have a suitcase full of drugs to do it.
It's just sad. Just really sad.
Did you ever watch any Fat Albert?
I mean, I know the cliche stuff. Mm-hmm. I know the cliche stuff about Fat Albert. Like, I don't know that I ever really watched
the character names or nothing. Just
I
Fat
know
Albert.
There was a kid. What was the kid that had the mask over his face?
I don't know none of their names.
I don't know nobody's name. Yeah,
and the only reason I know them characters is because of Platinum Fubu. You remember when that Platinum Fubu? They just had all the Fat Albert characters on everything. That was a weird time period.
Yeah, it was. I never really watched. Again, I just know pop culture. Like I know enough to be pop culturally aware of it, but I never watched it. I don't think.
What about any of his movies?
I remember Ghost Dad.
Ghost Dad.
Where he,
I remember that.
Yeah, I remember Ghost Dad. I think that's really.
I remember the Family Guy joke about Bill Cosby and Ghost Dad. It was stupid.
I don't know that that's the only one that I can. There was one. I can't even think of the name. I don't know.
It was one movie. I don't even remember the name of it, what he was doing, but he was just like a pimp. I don't know. All his old the fact that Bill Cosby made Fat Albert and the old movies he was in means that he's in tune at some point in history was in tune with his blackness.
He was.
But you know
he lost it though.
He went in a different direction.
Yeah.
I wonder what year or what age he was at when he, you know, the last woman that he assaulted, supposedly.
I don't know.
I wonder if he did any of that like after his son died, or was it after rape culture started being taken serious? I wonder if it was a point in time at which it definitely stopped and never happened again.
That would be an interesting thing to like look into. I'm not sure. And I don't think I've heard anybody address that, like when it stopped. Cause that would be interesting to know. I don't know. Cause
I mean, in my head, it could play into the dynamics of time in which rape culture started becoming a lot more aware, and it became noticed that rape drugs culture, cause it's a distinct time at which date rape drugs became a thing on nightly news. Yeah. You know, and so did he think it was okay before then? Even though we know it's never been okay, but did he think it was okay before then? And then people started helping him realize, oh, I'm messing up. Or what? I don't know. I guess that would be something interesting to.
It would be to see. I'm not sure. I don't know. Cause I can remember like even like in high school, I mean, I'm not that old, but you know, my mom being real adamant about like, don't take drinks from people. Don't sit no drink down. And if you do, don't drink out of it anymore. Like, it became like a thing, and she was even more adamant about it when I went off to college. So I don't know. It would be interesting to know like when he stopped.
Yeah. Well, Bill Cosby. Well, I guess we're going to the next person, and that would be Samuel L. Jackson.
Sam Jackson. Yes, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell.
Just to let y'all know, we don't have anything bad to say about Samuel L. Jackson.
I love Sam Jackson. He is hilarious. I didn't like him in the movie you told me to watch. About the spies in England.
Oh, Kingsman.
When he was the bad guy. Kingsman, that was terrible. He was terrible in that. That's like the only movie I've ever seen that I was like, what did they do to Sam? Like, he was really
I think Samuel Jackson, I need a challenge. First, I want to be the only black person in the movie. Second, I want to talk with a lisp. The whole time. Third, make me afraid of something. Like, I want to be afraid of blood, but I want to be a violent criminal.
The whole thing was just really weird. So that's like the only movie I could think of that I was like, okay, Sam. But everything else, like A Time to Kill, he was amazing in that.
My favorite movie with Sam Jackson is Pulp Fiction.
Oh God, yeah, Pulp Fiction was
for good. The Jerry curl alone and the wallet that said "bad motherfucker."
Yeah.
Those two things alone.
Well, I like the whole, what ain't no country I have heard of.
Just him and John Travolta dialogue in the whole thing. Like, his dialogue was great to me.
Yeah.
Like, the conversation him and John Travolta had about pumpkin pie. Him explaining his righteous walk. Actual righteous walk speech. Like,
that
the Royale with cheese. Like, all that was great to me. That was great.
I liked Die Hard with a Vengeance. I liked him in that. That's my favorite Die Hard movie.
Bruce Willis, my dude.
Yeah, I love Bruce Willis too.
Yeah.
But that would probably be that, and Pulp Fiction would probably be my two top favorite Samuel Jackson. He
got a lot of movies.
He does.
He really played in Kill Bill. On the piano, like didn't even see his face in the movie. Samuel Jackson about that money.
He is though, like, and he do commercials for, what does he do commercials for? Some
credit card thing?
Credit card, I think now.
Chase,
I think. Yeah. So he's still, even when he ain't making movies. Oh, another movie I did not like him in though was Black Snake Moan.
Oh, Black Snake Moan.
That shit was so, I don't even know what the hell the point of that movie was.
To try to keep a freak contained.
That shit was.
He chained up a freak so she wouldn't have sex.
And Justin Timberlake's character, like, the whole thing was just, fuck, I don't know. I didn't care for that one either. That was weird.
Yeah. I mean, he played a good country old dude.
He did.
That had some superstitions. But like
the movie itself was crap,
the movie was terrible. But you know, I just think Samuel L. Jackson just anytime somebody call him when he's free, he say yes, I'll do that movie.
Yeah. And I
just wonder what the list that he turned down looked like. Cause he is always in something.
Snakes on the plane.
Like,
I'm sick of these motherfucking snakes.
Like the name of that alone, I wouldn't watch that movie just because of the name. Like, they couldn't have been any more clever. No, I never seen it.
It was crap. I watched it because I just like him, and I was
I really don't fool with snakes like that. I ain't scared of them or nothing.
No sense. Like the cargo hold of the plane was full of snakes because they were trying to kill this one person on the plane. So this was their idea. We're gonna put all of these snakes on these poisonous snakes, and that was the plan. Like, it was just.
And they got past baggage claim.
Well, I want to say it was like somehow they got on the plane and put it directly on the plane. Like, nobody carried the snakes on. Like, they put them underneath and then like a timer went off, and it was really fucking stupid. Let me just be glad you didn't watch it.
It was an elaborate way of killing somebody in a stupid way.
Basically. You trying to kill one person. It's a whole plane full of fucking people. I got to suffer because you want to kill this one person. Like, it didn't make any sense.
Like, was Samuel Jackson like a marshal?
Was he? I think he was like an air marshal or something. I only watched it that one time because it was crap, so I don't really remember it all that. Was he in Anaconda?
Mm-mm. Ice Cube was the only black person in that.
Ice Cube, that's who I don't know how the hell I mixed them two up. But I love Sam Jackson. I think he's done a really good job. I can't even think of like scandal attached to him. He's been doing
He been married to the same woman forever.
Yeah, like I like Sam Jackson.
Like, he has done no wrong that I can conceptualize.
Me either.
And I read a story the other day about him. I think it was Morehouse that he went to when he was young. Whatever school that Martin Luther King Sr. Martin Luther King Sr. was on the board after Martin Luther King Jr. died. Him and a group of extremists at the school locked the board in the room because they didn't like a lot of the policies on campus.
Yeah. And
it succeeded in getting all the policies changed, but him and the group that did it got kicked off of campus.
Yeah.
And at the route he was going, it said that his mom, some police showed up at his mom's door. Some men showed up at his mom's door and told her that if your son keep going down this route, he's going to end up dead. Oh. And she said, the next week, she had him on a plane going to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And he went out there and did something, but came back and majored in theater.
Yeah.
At the same school. I don't see why they would ever let him back in the school, but they let him back in the school.
Yeah.
And I guess that was the beginning, but
I love Sam.
Listening to him about his past, he seemed to have an interesting life.
Yeah.
I probably read a biography about Samuel Jackson. I don't know if one exists or not.
Oh my God. There's this book called Go the Fuck to Sleep. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. I've heard. He does the Audible for it.
I've heard that.
That shit is hilarious. And while you would never, of course, read that to a child, I think parents who have kids that won't go to sleep at night, I just think that it's hilarious. I don't even have any kids, and I think it's hilarious. Like that, I have that book on my Kindle, and I bought the Audible because when I saw that Sam Jackson was reading it, I was like, I've got to get this. I have to have this. It's hilarious.
And Sam Jackson does not care. He would do anything. He don't care about political correctness. They could have did a new, Samuel L. Jackson using derogatory language targeted towards children. He don't care.
Not at all.
Samuel L. Jackson does not care.
Not at all. And that book is hilarious. I can't think of the author, but if you just Google Go the Fuck to Sleep, it'll be the only book that pops up. It's hilarious. It's a whole little it's in nursery rhyme form. Mm-hmm. It's so funny. It is so funny.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
You need to. It's hilarious.
All right. I don't think we can give Samuel L. Jackson any more praise. We have given him in this little moment.
He's great.
So we're gonna flip the script and we're gonna go to the Kardashians.
Oh shit! From greatness to shit.
I know how you feel about the Kardashians, but I don't know very much about them. So I was just thinking you might be able to like school me on some of what they got going on.
Go down the list, shall we? Their matriarch is Chris. I guess her last name is still Jenner. I don't know because they've gotten a divorce. I don't know what I don't know if she's changed it or not. But the mom is Chris, and she's the best madam in all of America. Pimps her daughters out regularly. She's dating some young black guy, which is a recurring theme for this family.
Dating young black guys.
Yes. She just seems like she does not. I won't say that she doesn't care about her daughters. I think she sees them more as tools, though, as what we traditionally think of like a mother-daughter relationship. Like, cause let me tell you something. If my ass get out here and make a sex tape that goes viral on the internet, I can assure you that my mother is not gonna be cool with that shit. My mom would be throwing holy water on me as she's beating my ass. Okay, she's not gonna. Like, Chris turned that into this Kardashian empire. Like, people give Kim didn't do that. Her mom did. She manages all of them. She's their manager. So, she's the one she's like the puppet master, and they're like these little marionettes. I think the oldest, I want to say is Courtney, and she got like 3 or 4 kids by the same tired ass dude. She's the only one of them who don't date black men or hasn't. I don't know what she's gonna do. I think they didn't broke up, so Chris might find her a black man too, but
I'm sure her sisters will convince her.
I'm sure
of the benefits.
I'm sure. Cause she's literally the only one out of the 5 of them that isn't.
If any.
She seems to be like, other than her being in this shit ass relationship, cause he's like terrible. He's mean to her and he got a drinking problem. He didn't check himself into rehab multiple times. I think he's currently in rehab now. So she's basically a single mother out here in these. They're not married. Then I think, I want to say.
So the oldest one, some of them got different daddy.
The oldest 3 have the Kardashians is the lawyer. I forgot his name. Rob. I think his name is Robert Kardashian because I think their brother is Junior. And then the 2 younger girls are Bruce Jenner. Okay. Yeah. So Khloe, Kim, and Courtney all have the same dad.
Ain't it a son?
Rob.
He got the same dad as the 3 girls?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't know. I think Rob may be the youngest of that first set of kids. I think it's Courtney, then maybe Kim. Everybody know Kim. Kim married Kanye. She made a sex tape with Ray J. Man. She has no discernible talents, yet she's famous as fuck for nothing. Her parenting skills have been in question since she gave birth to her daughter, and she's currently pregnant with a son. God bless him. Can you imagine your mom having a sex tape that your friends, when you become a teenager, are probably going to be watching? That's got to be tough.
I don't want to imagine that.
I can't imagine how that's going to be for him. I can't imagine how it's going to be for Northwest trying to date when your mom is Kim Kardashian. Like, I think about like future for the kids, like who their parents are is going to affect them. And I just don't see it going in a very positive way. But
I mean, as a parent, do you sit down and say, now listen, kids, y'all might see something and hear some stuff about your mama, but don't pay it no attention. It's not true, kids. Kanye will probably try to destroy the internet somehow.
Yeah, who knows?
Kanye will probably try to have everybody who watch it assassinated before he get to their kids.
If they're still even together at the time that North and this boy is a teenager, I question how long this union is going to last. But
if you look at celebrity relationships as a whole, evidence would show that maybe not.
Yeah. See, that's Kim. Then Khloe, Lamar Odom.
Khloe and Lamar. Okay. The only thing I know about that is from this recent, drug thing, whatever he doing.
She's the one that doesn't really look like the rest of them. She's the one when they take pictures together, she's one of these things is not like the other, one of these things doesn't belong. There has been rumors forever that Kris cheated on their dad and that Khloe is a result of that. Cause she's much bigger than all of them. Cause they're really tiny. All of them are teeny tiny. She's not. She's tall and she's a lot stouter than they are. Her face she just looks different from them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always been a rumor is that her dad wasn't Rob Kardashian, or Robert Kardashian. But yeah, her claim to fame currently is Lamar Odom, but before that, like, she married Lamar after like literally like a month. Like, I don't know I'm pretty sure it was not much more than a month. They got married. They stayed married for a while, then they had this really nasty, very public breakup. They never got a divorce. Since they got separated, he, was doing what he was doing, and she dating French Montana, and most recently, what's his name?
James Harden.
Poor James Harden. James Harden.
Sorry, James.
Then Lamar went to the Bunny Ranch or one of those, prostitution places in Nevada, in Las Vegas, and had an overdose and was rushed to the hospital, and all of them ran by his side like they was checking for him when they weren't. You weren't giving a shit about him all of this time. I feel like it was a photo op, but that's a whole nother conversation altogether. And so now they're not getting a divorce, and she supposedly is going to stand by his side through this recovery period, and James Harden just got pushed to the side.
Sorry, James.
Well, I'm not. I think it's for the best, James. It's for the best, sir. Trust me. Your life is probably going to go a lot better without being connected to her. And then I think Rob is next. Poor Rob. I can't imagine. Oh, your sister's a hoe. Again, this goes back to North and her little brother to be. How do you deal with your sisters out here doing all of this shit? Like, again, I got 3 brothers. I don't have any sisters. So if I was out here showing my ass literally all over the net, my brothers would have an intervention to beat my ass. Again, I can't imagine how he feels having these very highly publicized sisters that are doing all of this silly shit. Like, and he was suicidal and depressed. I can't imagine why. I don't know why he was so unhappy. His life is so great. Maybe last year, I think he has since he had gained a bunch of weight and was just really unhappy. I think he's lost the weight and he's looking better these days, but no thanks to them. They were real bitches to him around that time. Like, as far as tweets and stuff, just not nice to him. He's the only boy in this whole situation. And again, it's he can't be used. So Kris don't see it for him, right? She's not gonna be able to pimp him out. So she don't really see it for him. It don't seem like, then you have the 2 younger ones, which are Bruce Jenner's daughters. The older one, I think, is Kendall. She's the model who Michael B. Jordan has been connected to. And that makes me sad.
No, Michael B.
I know, right? You just really. So he's connected to her. She's, for right now, seems to barely have her head on straight. She's getting ready to, I think she's going to be in the Victoria's Secret show, and she seems to have, her shit together for the most part. I mean, as much as you can in this family. Yeah. I feel like Kris is going to change that, but she seems to be doing pretty okay. She's one of the only ones, I don't know that Kourtney has for sure, but I know Kim and Kylie and Khloe have all had serious work done, like surgery. She hasn't. She's very thin. She doesn't seem like she's had it because she's trying to do the model thing, and all of that curvy shit ain't gonna work trying to do runway work. So she don't seem to have altered herself. So she seems all right for the most part. And then you have Kylie, who is the youngest, but you wouldn't know it by looking at her ass. She look older than me. Who is very famously dating Tiger, and the reason why it's famous is because she started dating him when she was still 16, 17 years old, and he's 25, old enough to fucking know better. She also has had lip injections, and she's had some reconstruction stuff done to her face, it appears. I'm pretty sure she's had some injections in her ass as well. She's like a little mini Kim. That's what it seems like. It seems like her role model has been Kim, which is sad as shit. She's still with Tiger, and again, it goes back to Chris not 16-year-old me bring home some 25-year-old man. My mother slapped all the teeth out of my mouth. Chris was cool with it. She was fine with it. She didn't step in. And I feel like their poor dad, if he was here, I don't know how he would feel about all of this. Cause I feel like this all kind of got off the rails after he died. Like all of that shit all of that happened after he was dead. So I don't know if their dad was still around, if things would be the same way. I feel like, cause Bruce did not have no control over shit. So Chris just kind of had free reign to do whatever she wanted to. Now, and I know, people probably listening to this and are like, well, they got money and you just a hater. I don't want to be a fucking Kardashian. If I could wake up tomorrow and be a Kardashian and have what they have, I wouldn't want it. Because the price that I feel like they're paying to have the stuff that they have, for me personally, it isn't worth it. They're known for being hoes. Like, that's literally, none of them have any talent. None of them are contributing anything to the world besides giving young girls this perception of this is how you make money. This is how you make it. This is how. And that having kids terrifies me, because these are the images that I'm going to have to contend with. I'm going to have to be telling my daughter that, no, it's okay for you to be the way that you are and look the way that you are. And you're beautiful just how you are. And then she turn on the TV and see Kim Kardashian and the rest of these. And it's like, you see this lavish lifestyle that they're living. I'm trying to sell you this pipe dream of you're fine the way that you are, but this is what you could have if you altered it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know.
So great business people.
Yeah.
Terrible role models.
Oh, shit. Terrible role models.
Okay. Did you see the Kylie Jenner lip challenge?
Oh,
when that was going on?
Motherfuckers. First of all, I don't even blame Kylie for that. I blame every stupid ass one of you out there that did that shit. Basically, you take like a shot glass and suck it on your face until it until
your blood vessels swell in your lips and
then you
make your lips bigger.
What? And then you surprised that it's painful, bitch? Like, what did you think was gonna happen?
Who did that work for?
Nobody. Every
why
video
did they
I
think?
saw, I don't know. They were in excruciating pain. Like, every one of the videos, it didn't work out well for them.
Some people's lips were so messed up.
Ugh.
That was terrible.
I don't blame her for that. I mean, cause the thing about it is, we all know she had surgery, right? She wasn't out here saying, get shot glasses and this is what I did. You know, I don't blame her for. I think that's just people being stupid. I just don't have nothing for the Kardashians. I wish they would go away. I'm a little sad even to be giving them this little bit of airtime, because I feel like, we do too much as it is. But yeah, I don't know.
Well, that's enough roasting the Kardashians.
I could go on for days. Trust and believe.
Roasted. I've learned a lot though. So I mean, if you didn't know anything about the Kardashians, you got the negative perception of them. I don't know I really don't know what you can say positive about them except for they got money and
they good business people. Yeah. That's really it. Now they can turn nothing into something.
They have the traditional societal definition of beauty, but not necessarily the one that you want to give your daughter.
Exactly. Because they don't own it. They just bought it and anybody can buy it.
Yeah. Well, last person.
Okay.
On celebrity lineup.
All right.
He's going to be Adele.
Yay, we end on a positive note because I love Adele.
I like Adele album.
She's amazing. I like her music, don't get me wrong. Her music is great. Her voice is great. I like her as a person though. If you ever watched an Adele interview, she's just so likable. She dropped the F-bomb, and anybody who do that is my hero. Let me just say, I think it's amazing. She's herself. I like that. Like, she's a humongous star. Like, didn't even know she was going to blow up as much as she has. And she could be an asshole. She could be a diva. I don't really get that from her. Mm-hmm. Like, she's still very much a very down to earth person. She seems, and she's goofy, and she seems like she would be a lot of fun to hang out with. Like, if I could hang out with Adele, I would totally do that shit. Like, I think it would be really fun. Like, she just seems like a nice person.
I wonder if she's gonna keep up with her trend of naming her albums after her age.
Probably
like, at some point, it's gonna be like 46. You don't think about that, 52?
Yeah. I don't know that she'll still be, because I think she'll stop before then. Because it took her so long to even come. Because it's 19, 21,
25.
4 years. Like, she waited for it to do 25. So, and she said, I watched a interview that she did recently, that she didn't, she even played around with the idea of not coming back at all and like going out on a high note.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know that she'll be doing it for quite that long. I would love it. I'll buy 46. I totally will. But I don't know that I see her going for that long. Not because she can't. I feel like she's not going to want to.
Well, if this album does great,
it's going to.
It will question the idea that she thought about giving up before this because she thought she would be ending on a high note.
Yeah.
If this goes higher, like.
I don't know that it'll go, like, 21 was like, that was everywhere. Like, a lot of those songs. Someone Like You, like, oh, God. I watched Bones, a season of Bones ended with one of her songs before. Like, it was everywhere. And Hello is huge. And people, like, cause people have been waiting for her to come back. So, like, they saw that and it was like, oh shit, Adele is back. I think it's number one probably on iTunes, I would imagine. So people are going to buy even if it's crap, people are going to buy it to see what it sounds like. So she going to sell it.
Oh, she gonna sell it off for 21 alone.
21 alone, regardless of whether or not it's a good album. But I like Hello. I wish it wasn't so melancholy. I won't quite say that it's sad. I guess it's your perception, like the way you look at the song. But it's very melancholy. So like, I'm hoping for some more upbeat stuff because I don't need another album that's gonna have me in my feelings and ready to jump off a building. So. And I think she's capable of doing, like, I don't want to equate sadness with her. Like, I wanted to have some more upbeat stuff. So, we'll see. I do want to see her and Sam Smith do something together, though. Really? I just want to see the Brits get together and, like, do something.
I wonder. Unless she's thinking about quitting now.
Yeah. Or not like I think a whole album might be pushed into like a song together.
I wouldn't expect to do no album.
Yeah. Well, like Drake and fucking Future.
Only rappers and R&B artists do that. Like, who outside of, Linkin Park and Jay-Z?
Oh, that was like, I like that though.
But who else? Nobody outside of rap and R&B really does that kind of thing.
No, they don't.
They do a song, or rap artists or R&B artists drag them in for a project.
Yeah. Oh, cause Omarion and who? Omarion did one with somebody.
I don't know. Omarion don't register in my head. I don't really have no memories tied to him except how terrible
maybe it was Chris Brown. Shit, I don't know. I don't really listen to this stuff. I'm old.
You got served. That's that's ruined. Omarion, that's why he started being struck from my memory. That movie and everybody that was involved.
I've never seen that.
Don't watch it.
It looked like shit. So I just didn't even watch it.
Unless you particularly like Omarion or you are just a biased fan of critiquing dancing.
No, I'm neither of those things. I don't have anything against dance movies. I like Step Up.
The only time every time, I always imagine that the last day that I served at the restaurant that I was working at, I would like to tell my last guest, you just got served. And then just leave the building and be done with it. I always want to, that's all I got from that movie. The possibility of doing that one day.
That is hilarious.
But what do you think about with Adele, there has been conversation about her appropriating, Black culture.
I think that is based solely on the fact that she is doing R&B music. Cause there's nothing about the music itself that is her appropriate. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like she's making references in the songs. I feel like that's based solely on the fact that she does R&B music. And so then the only way for her not to appropriate black culture then is to do an entirely different genre of music separate from what her voice fits, one, and what her interests are, two. And I don't think that that's fair. The same argument is made about Sam Smith as well. And
are there categories R&B or are they soul, blue-eyed soul?
I don't even know what I'm trying to. I mean, I call it R&B, but it is kind of like, it's not neo, so it's like, I don't know. It's more R&B ish than soul, I think, but I mean, if you listen to their interviews, their influences have been heavily, and I feel like we toss appropriate. Now, is our culture appropriated by, hell yes. Yes, it happens all the time. So I'm not denying that it happens. I just don't think Adele and Sam Smith simply doing music that they enjoy doing, and they're doing it in a way I feel like is respectful of the genre itself. I just don't see it as them appropriating. Like, I listen to Sam Smith. I listen to Adele. I don't boycott them because I feel, you know what I mean? Like,
I guess that brings a question up for me. Like, can an individual appropriate a culture? Like, if Adele, if she copies a R&B, style, know, as a person, can she appropriate African American culture, or is appropriation something that you do on a larger scale?
I mean, usually when people talk about appropriation of culture, they're talking about it in an individual. Like Macklemore, people felt like he was appropriating because hip hop.
But they don't say the same thing about Eminem.
No, they don't. And one, I think because Eminem would kick your ass if you did that, and two, I think I'm not a Macklemore fan. Let me say that, and it's not necessarily because I feel like he's appropriating the culture. With Eminem, I always felt like Eminem was very genuine. Like, he's from fucking 8 Mile in Detroit. He never tried to be black, right? He was just this white dude that rapped who was very good at it. Like, he went out here, dating black women, trying to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, I never got that vibe from him. And I think that's why people didn't have an issue with him so much, is because it was more authentic and genuine. Now, the type of rap that Macklemore does, it ain't like he's trying to be Future. It's like, have you heard that Downtown song? I fucking hate that song, by the way.
No, I haven't.
It's like, he got like Ron DMC, maybe. He's featuring like some older, like Ron DMC or like Kumo D, or it's a terrible song.
I guess we pick and choose.
And that's the thing.
I can't say as a culture. I'm not necessarily a part of the choosing process, but I mean, as a culture, it seems like most of the culture gravitate towards who we accept. Yeah. And who that part of the culture don't accept, we gravitate away from. Yeah, because
John B. I'm showing my age. And y'all may not know who John B is. John B, like, in the 90s, like, what nobody, like, he's appropriate. Like, nobody cared. Like, people love John B. Like,
that probably wasn't even a dialogue back then.
Yeah, what? Like, nobody. And have you seen the video for, like, what is that song? The one that he's most famous for. It's like
you don't know?
You don't, they don't know.
They don't know.
They don't know. Like, it's nothing but black women in the video. Like, he ain't even had no white bitches in the video. Like, so, and nobody had a problem with it though. And I've had this conversation, here recently quite a bit. I feel like we are becoming very sensitive. And I mean, like, not just we as in black folks. I mean, we as in the country as a whole. We're so sensitive. You have to be so careful about what you say, because people get so easily offended, and the way you said it was this way, and you just have to be so careful now. Some of that is good, that we're paying more attention to shit that's been kind of let slide in the past. Some of it though, I feel like it's overkill. Like, some of it is kind of like, okay. I mean, you have the right to be offended by whatever you want to be offended by. But things get like taken to like a very large scale very quickly now.
Well, I guess like that, I'm like in the middle of trying to understand what it is, because if you say, which I hear a lot, if you say we're sensitive now, more sensitive or hypersensitive, or however you want to put it, that implies that it was normalized before, you know, to where I think it could be a case of where it wasn't normalized before. It was that everybody was being quiet because they were afraid to speak up. There was no avenue to speak up. There was no avenue for everybody to be heard. But now that the emergence of social media coincidentally coincides with all that sensitivity. So it may just be, I think a lot of people have a voice and have an opportunity to put something out there, because a lot of people are being held accountable for stupid things they say now. People are getting fired, terminated, suspended just because that voice is out there.
As they should,
But with that comes also the fact that it's a lot of people out there making their voices be heard when it's really irrelevant, when, you know, their opinions are not valid, when
Raven-Symoné.
Yeah. Raven-Symoné. When they just trying to be extra petty in society for no reason. So I see the emergence of people who will use it in a way that they just being sensitive, but I don't know if that's more of the people or less. I guess that's like, as my ideas about this develop, I'm trying to figure that out.
Yeah. And again, it can be, it's a double-edged sword, I think. On the one side, you have people that are able to like really express things, and on the other side, some people are expressing shit that you just wish they would shut up about.
Yeah. Just shut up.
Just be quiet. So yeah.
Well, we got a long list of celebrities to line up, and we did 5 today. So, you got anything else on your mind about any of these celebrities?
I mean, we could go on all day. I think, and that's why I think this will be a regular segment, is because celebrities are dumb as shit. Like, there'll always be celebrities to line up for good and bad reasons, though. It won't be just us like telling people how shitty they are, because some of them are good, like Sam and nothing else.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess until we come to the next conversation.
All right, we out.
Holla.